Good evening indeed, my fellow Americans. It is indeed Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023, 05-23-23. Of course, it is Tuesday. This is a time that we all look forward to seeing you. Again, it's summer. It's almost summertime here. Again, we were looking forward to a great summer in the state of Florida. And there's a lot on the news. There's a lot to delve into. There's a lot to discuss. I'm giving you a few seconds to call a colleague or friend. Let them know the Robert Duverny Show is on. You know, if it's Tuesday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert Duverny Show. Well, tonight, my fellow Americans, we, as always, we have a wonderful show for you. We have a lot to discuss. As you know, the debt ceiling is, this is what's been happening as of late. It's making a circle around the White House, a circle around the Capitol Hill. And folks are going like berserk. They don't know what to do. Again, one thing I know for certain, that we, the Americans, we always come at the last minute. We make things happen. I think this is something, a part of the American, is part of our DNA that will show in due time. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Again, call a colleague, and before we delve into it any further, call a colleague. Let them know the Robert Duverny Show is on. If it's Tuesday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert Duverny Show. Well, my fellows, what we have on the agenda, that, like I said earlier at the top of the segment, there's a lot happening right here in the state of Florida. And but before we delve into politics, I'd like to delve into Miami Heat. Watch the sport as well. All right. My brother Ambrose Hodelson from the great state of Florida is live. All right. Thank you for logging in, brother. All right. As you know, Miami Heat, the show's going to be very short tonight. We'll probably break out at 8:28 instead of 8:30. Just give you enough time to turn on the TV set and watch your favorite Miami Heat. And it's a good time to be here in South Florida to experiment greatness. Again, as we can see, normally we don't cover sport in this talk show, but then again, how can you stay silent on the success of the Miami Heat? These a team that was ranked number 8, and you know, in the NBA, it's an 8 team of from each conferences. That will be total 16 teams, 8 from the Eastern Conference, 8 from the Western Conference, and Miami Heat was number 8th. So what does that tell you? The last in the Eastern, and then they face off number 1, which was Milwaukee, and then it was unthinkable. No, you don't hear things like that. Number 8 beating number 1. Well, guess what? Miami beat them 4-1. So right then and there, we were shocked and said, well, is that it? Really? Well, this team wasn't ready for Miami Heat. Well, little did we know, Miami Heat then won and played in the second round, and they faced New York Knicks, the stinking Knicks from New York. So we ended up beating them 4-2. I said, well, now these guys are serious. They mean business. And later did we know, we're in the conference final. We're facing the team who actually beat us last year, and on Game 7, as you know, my man Jimmy Butler, JB, took the last shot, and he missed it. Had we we made that basket, then we would have been in the championship. But unfortunately, Boston Celtics gave us a sour taste in our mouth, and then guess what? We were number 1 on our conference. Last year we were number 1, this year we're number 8, and yet the number 2 team beat us last year, and then at home. And I'm sure Miami Heat had that sour taste in their mouth since last year. And then sure enough, history does repeat itself, as we so accustomed to. And Miami Heat faced off with of course, the Celtics, the Boston Celtics, and then here we are in the conference final, and in Miami right now is leading 3-0. During the history of the NBA, there's never any team from 03 to come up and beat the leading team. So I think tonight there's a good chance that Miami Heat can bag it up, and then. They need to rest. They need to because Nuggets on the West, they took care of the Lakers last night, and they're ready. I'm sure they're watching every move Miami Heat made, and I'm sure they watch that, and they'll be watching whatever move Miami Heat will be making tonight. so they can be ready for them. Well, my brother Wally just logged in. Welcome on board, brother. I'm sure you're probably anxious right now. He's a big Heat fan. So is, the two teachers here from Miami-Dade Public School logged in. I mean, gentlemen, you have a prize. I should definitely get you one of the Robert Duverny Show T-shirt, since you are the two loyal viewers who logged in first. Tonight, the prize goes to the two Miami-Dade public school teachers. I salute you, and then you have a Robert Duverny Show awaits for you, sir. Thank you. Well, call a friend. Those of you who are coming in late, you still have time, and then the show will go on until 8:28 tonight. If I'm going overboard, ladies and gentlemen, please stop me, because I need to release you. I'm sure you're very loyal. You would not shut off the broadcast just to go watch the game, but with all the respect that I have for you, I will definitely cut my time short, and so we can go ahead and watch the game, the Miami Heat. Of course, all right. Thank you, brother. Definitely. Anything for you, brother. Anything. All right. Well, so now that we cover all these sports, and then we're going to delve into our favorite, our politics, which will be with us 24/7. As you know, sports only lasts a season, and a season sometime in basketball, October through June, and then but politics is a 24/7, right? Especially in today's news, cable news, it's almost like 25/7. If there were 25 hours in the day, there'll be 25 hours 7. But when you have 24, so it's 24/7. All right. So what we have here, of course, we have some major announcement. One of our senators just this week just made the announcement that he's running for president. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Tim Scott from South Carolina, the junior senator from South Carolina, along with, he plans on running for president on his autobiography. Well, it's laughable. It's laughable for the simple fact that the Republican Party has so much at stake. And for you to see someone of Mr. Scott, is a man, I don't have any, well, I have respect for him as a senator, because we all revere to our leaders. But then again, this is the man that I would look up to in terms of what he stands for. But then again, he's a man. And he's a man who's defending his states. He's fighting a good cause for his states. But then again, I don't see him fighting a cause for America. That's all. That's what I'm saying. So, well, I'll let the skeptics go into more details. But then again, I think as an outsider who's looking in, we tend to look at our politicians, what they're running for, and if they're not looking for a book deal. Oftentimes people put their candidacy running for office at this highest level simply to write a book. Okay. My campaign, my presidential campaign, and then again, the buck stopped there. So it's interesting that we can see there's so much at stake, and the Republican Party knows a thing or two of what's at stake here, and then it's good to have more people in the field. It makes it look like it's competitive, when in reality there's no competition, really. Okay, so and again, the Republican Party, Mr. Trump is still leading 56% of the likely Republican voters. They still view him as the leader. That tells you something about Donald Trump. He's here to stay. You cannot turn this man down. I mean, he's an icon for the party, and no one want to take him head on. So far, I've heard other people take on DeSantis. I'm going to touch DeSantis, our governor here. He's my governor of the state of Florida. He's a man who's been in a lot of fight with the Disney. I mean, who fights with Disney? Come on, man. Come on. It's like Mike Tyson, man, fighting, President Trump. All right, so who's gonna fight Disney, man? Really? Mr. DeSantis. I don't think Mr. DeSantis, with all due respect, he's a great politician. I have to give it to him. I mean, he's very young, energized, is very clever, And what I want my audience to understand, whatever bill that he recently signed, particularly in the state of Florida, as you know, the state of Florida, starting July 1st, there's going to be some new laws that will be enacted, which particularly aims at illegal immigrants, put it this way. So we can see there's a trend toward getting rid of migrants, and the fact that we have so much at stake, and the only way that he can take some oxygen out of the room, because Trump takes all the oxygen, it's by some the most outrageous thing, and that's what's happening. If you remember back in 2015 when Mr. Trump was running for office, he talks about the Mexicans who make tequila. You know, Mexicans are very good in tequila, and they're hard workers, and when they come here, they do work. And I know I'm not gonna sit here and say we're all perfect. Okay, we all have our faults. You know, just like Haitians. Haitians come. We have some great Haitians. We have some lousy Haitians. Just like we have great Americans, lousy Americans. I mean, we have bad people in every culture. So for you to sit here and pinpoint at one particular ethnic group and then turn them down, I think it's a disservice. Not so much so to that particular ethnic group, but again to the human race. I mean, because we all one big family. We all one big family, I said. And I don't think it was good. But then again, guess what? That captivated the audience. And that's what people were talking about. You know, talking about they send the rapists, the drug dealers. I mean, things like that, they resonate with people. You see, if you want to get people's attention, especially those who cannot think for themselves, you got to say the most bizarre things. And that's a page that DeSantis is taking away from Trump. Okay, and Trump, we got to give him credit where credit is due. I mean, the guy he's been in the entertainment business for well over 40 years. Okay, way before DeSantis was born. So he knows how to manipulate the media. And then right now we're living in an age where social media is actually rampant, and kids are 5-6 years old on social media, on the telephone. I'm in church, I'm looking at these kids, they start crying, mommy give them a phone, and they're quiet for the rest of the day. So they know how to go around the cell phone, the electronic device. So that tells you there's a way that you can captivate people. The other day I was just preparing for this show, and I was scrolling through my Facebook account, and I was looking at some funny stories, and then I realized I was sitting there for 20 minutes. I could have devoted that 20 minutes into reading the Bible or reading something that is worth reading. It would have been food for the mind. But I come to realize that how much time that we spend on social media. That's why I encourage you, if you have to be on social media, you need to watch the Robert Duverny show on a regular basis, because this is a show that will bring things forth and then make sense of things. I mean, when we have dialogue like this, I mean, that's one thing when I create this platform, whereas we can interact. I mean, as you were to question something that I say, let's say you have an issue that's bothering you, or something that you heard, or something that I'm talking about, and you want some more enlightenment, you just send me a text. I mean, right there in the chat room, I have all 3 chat room open. I have Facebook live open, I have YouTube, I have also Twitter, all these social media right there, and I can see your questions, in real time. So that right there, when you look at these social media sites, in reality, they give you a chance to escape life, but at the end, you're empty. Okay, so we're living in a society where we just want to consume things, but we want to make things better. Let's say we learn something. I mean, that's always a beauty. You involve in some type of reading material, and then you learn something, and you can share it with someone, either your family, your loved one, even a co-worker. I think that's how we make progress. So, to come back to the topic that we discussed earlier, I mean, I think, hey, my man, Anthony Albert, from the great city of South Florida. How you doing, brother? Welcome on board. Mrs. Elliot Henriquez, thank you for logging in. Miss Bernadette Remy, all right. I got quite a few of my folks here logging in. You guys are smart. Just before the heat starts, Anthony Albert is live. Is logging in. The show will be very short. In the next 10 minutes, I'll be done. But I'd like to give you enough time to turn on your TV set to watch the Miami Heat. All right, just now before we jump into that, I mean, there's so much that we can talk about tonight, but we're gonna go into some of the things again. Like I said, we know we're dealing with the debt ceiling. Debt ceiling is still rampant. I mean, the two sides have not come to an agreement, but I think that there's more to come, and it looks like there's progress that's been made. President Biden is not showing his hand. You know, it's like you're playing poker. You never want to show your adversary your hand, the hand that you have. So you got to save it. And then, well, Mr. McCarthy, he's playing tough, saying, well, the two sides are still far apart. But then again, he doesn't want to look like he's too cordial with the president, which his party might be, before he even get back to the Capitol Hill, might be bought him out. So Mitch McConnell is not Mitch, I'm sorry, McCarthy. They both start with M. McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, is he's walking on thin ice, and then well, which goes to tell you that so many people have taken pages from the Trump encyclopedia book. So you have the likes of Matt Gaetz, you have the likes of Marjorie's Green from the great Georgia. I'm sure those of you Georgian logging in there, District 3. All right, so you can see, you know, these MAGA. They're taking a page out of him, which is great. I mean, when that works with Donald Trump, great. But then again, at what cost? That's a question I always ask myself. We can be famous for a minute. We can be famous for a week, a year, even for 10 years. And then what? What are we leaving for future generations? What are we leaving for the country that we love so much? Because right now, if United States were to default on that debt, it will be catastrophic. Now think about it, my fellow Americans. I think I gave you that illustration prior, but I'll reiterate that again. When you go out to a restaurant, let's say you go out, I know it's almost graduation time, and those of you who have friends, loved one, kids of your own, I'm sure most of you are grandparents, there's graduation coming up. So you're going to be spending some money, all right? You're going to be, I'm sure I've seen some kids going to prom, they spend money in prom, they spend money in a graduation party. There's going to be some money. But guess what? Are you using cash or using credit card? Let's say using the latter, okay? Credit cards. Now, those credit cards you just ran up, they must be paid. I'm just trying to put it in layman term, just so you understand what's going on here. I don't care which party you stand, either you're Republican or Democrat. But what's important, we are educated and we know what's at stake. And these guys, they're a bunch of bums, and I'm telling you, they're bums. You know why? Because they want to cut benefits for the veterans, guys who fought wars, okay? Guys who get their legs amputated. They depended on those social security, those checks, those veterans benefits, Social Security, the SNAP program, the needy, the poor, okay? So now, if you care so much about the budget, but you already ran up those bills, I think the good thing to do is to pay those bills and then put your house in order. That's what all grown-up will do. If I'm gonna have a budget in my house, that's my wife and I, we're going crazy on credit cards, right? It was Christmas, and then we go berserk. And then guess what? When we look at January comes and the bills start coming in, we have $15,000 worth of credit cards. Say, whoa, honey, what happened here? Well, all the gifts you got your daughters, okay, or you got your loved one, or you give your clients. But we have to pay those bills. Say, well, honey, moving forward, we're gonna pay these bills, but we would not return back to that same practice again. I think that would be fair and simple. Now, honey, if you want to spend money on your people, guess what? Have a piggy bank or create an account where you put money aside, okay? Guess what? And then you can tap into that when you want to do some good deed at the end of the year. So I think that would be appropriate. Is that right, my fellow Americans? Well, same thing goes for Congress. These are bills that already accumulated. So let's just pay them right now. We just pay them. Now, moving forward, we're going to have a grown-up discussion. Well, this is what we're going to be putting in the budget. Simple as that. This is what we're going to put in the budget. And we're going to cut expenses. Maybe we may have to cut expenses in Social Security. Maybe we need to raise the retirement age to 67. How's that? That 2 more years. Well, if we love America, if we really, and then those guys in Congress, put your money where your mouth is, man. If you really care about the debt, take your salary off. Take a year off if you care so much, because they have the budget in there too. cut your salaries if you're so fiscal conservative. Okay, so much. How about you just work for free? I mean, do in-kind donations. Let's give the nation that you love so much. Let's not get paid. How's that? You guys agree with me? I mean, that you'll show me you got some skin in the game. Well, I'm not going to get paid because I think my salary somehow, when you look at your staff salary, all these perks that you are given, and then I think that right there probably save us in some $1 billion. Yeah. Your insurance, everything. I mean, you think about it. Now, for them to sit here and tell the American people that it's the other party that's ringing up those bills that they want to cut back. They're willing to sacrifice the good faith credit of the American people. Think about it. If this happened, we lose about 7 to 8 million jobs. Our interest rate will skyrocket to the roof. It's going to be harder for you to get a mortgage, harder for you to get a loan. Even your credit card interest rate will go up. Because guess what? Once one is affected, it affects all. So this is what we need to know. So now when you see these guys, don't hold their feet to the fire. So I thought I'd share this with you. And then tomorrow, breaking news tomorrow, that we'll have 2 minutes left. I'm going to make it short. And in the next 2 minutes, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we have a major announcement. Our lovely governor, Mr. Ron DeSantis, will make it official. He'll be running for president of the United States tomorrow. He'll be announcing that. He'll be announcing his candidacy for the presidency with Elon Musk. As you know, Elon Musk is the founder of Tesla. Tesla is the guy which recently purchased Twitter. Elon Musk is looking like he's on DeSantis' team. He's not going to be on Trump team for some reason. But again, Mr. DeSantis will make his major announcements beginning tomorrow. Yeah, but again, it's not going to be live TV. It's going to be on Twitter. So I guess Mr. DeSantis is, he's very humble. He doesn't want to be behind the camera saying that he's running for president. So again, Mr. DeSantis really he's had a lot of fight. He's involved in a lot of fight with the NAACP. He's fighting with Disney. He's fighting with so many entities in Florida, and I'm afraid that he's fighting with the immigrants. I mean, there's so much that fight he's bringing into, but I think we need to stay put and hope for the best and hope that he comes back to his senses. I don't think he's going to be like, but there's no way you're going to win the president, even the nomination for your party, by going so extreme. I mean, against gay, against transgender, against African American studies at some state university. I mean, when you think about these things, I mean, what kind of cultural war that you bringing in? I mean, this is the president. He wants to make the entire federal government as Florida, but not everybody. Everybody loves Florida because of the weather. But they don't like Florida when there's a hurricane. Nobody wants to be when there's a hurricane. So I guess Mr. DeSantis is trying to make, he's giving you the blueprint. If he were to become president of the United States, what he see in Florida, that's going to be at the federal level throughout the United States. But not everybody wants to have the United States as Florida, Mr. Governor. So I'm sure he's not going to be like this. But then again, he has to take some oxygen out of the room because Mr. Trump It's taking all the oxygen. The only way you can stay relevant. So that tells you where we are as a nation. For us to be relevant, we have to say the most outrageous thing. That's bothersome. All right. So now, and if you start doing something like this, guess what? You would only replicate what you're doing, whatever you do at the state level, and you will try to do that at the federal level. But again, it's a different game here. But okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Hazel just logging in. Welcome on board. Welcome on board. Thank you for logging in. And the Heat's about to win tonight, 4-0. And thank you for logging in. I will make it the show. The game's about to start. Again, thank you to all of you who logged in. Yeah, who goes against Mickey Mouse, really? Think about it. It's like a lion going against a mouse, really. I'm Mickey Mouse. Come on, really? I love Mickey Mouse, man. I love Mickey Mouse, man. If Mickey Mouse lived in Florida, I'm going to be crying like a baby. If Mickey Mouse lives in Florida, they're going to California. You know? Arnold Schwarzenegger will be California. So they're going over there. So, all right. Thank you, my fellow Americans. Again, there's a lot of things. Okay. One last note. It's 8:30. The one last thing I want to say to you is that we have a somewhat a bipartisan bill, and right now that will making its way to the House. It's of course the House Latinas. Like, you know, one thing I know for sure. If you want anything to be done, get a woman. Same thing happened with the Affordable Care Act, ACA. We have a woman, Nancy Pelosi was having enough guts to actually get the votes and then make this happen. And then, but guess what? Just today, the two Latinas in the House of Representatives, I'm referring to Maria Elvira Salazar from Florida, and of course Veronica Escobar from El Paso, Texas. They, on a joint effort, they bring in a bill which we'll call Dignity Act of 2023. This is a bill that will make all the illegals, because since Mr. DeSantis is trying to get rid of all the migrants in the state of Florida by making them relevant, whereas Mr. DeSantis is running a tough fight again. But there's hope. There's hope. Because these two Latinas, I mean, the Republican Party are losing votes every election cycle. And now the only way that he can stay relevant is to bring a segment of the population to really go after them. So those two Latinas, Representative Salazar and Representative Escobar, they, on a joint effort, one Republican, one Democrat, they are attempting to bring a bill to the House where they looks like they're doing a good job. No one knew about it until today. It came out, the Dignity Act of 2023, that would address concerns raised by Republicans and moderate Democrats about illegal borders crossing. And there's provision in this bill to enforce the borders. And also these folks who've been in the United States for so long will pay some kind of restitution for 7 years, about $5,000, and eventually will get their green card. So I think that's very encouraging news, and I like what I'm hearing. And these immigrants, when they come here, they work, they contribute to our society, and they're great Americans as well. Because remember that being American doesn't mean that you were born here. It's an idea. See yours as your own. Sacrifice for it. These are the people who are serving in the armed forces. These are the people that we see at the hospital, at the school, teaching. These are the people that's what makes America great. My fellow Americans, that's all I have for you tonight. Again, I say we have a show to watch. We're going to cut it short here. And I'd like to say good evening, Monsieur Joël Godard, directement de la France, Monsieur Godard. Merci d'être branché avec nous ce soir sur Robert Duverny. C'est une émission qui vous arrive chaque mardi de 20h jusqu'à 20h30. Alors je vous souhaite déjà une très bonne séance et n'hésitez pas de faire part avec vos amis là, en France comment dirais-je, d'abonner avec hommage, c'est ça. Eh bien, merci bien. My fellow Americans, that's all I hope for you tonight. And until next time, we wish you the very best. Let's go Heat. Until next time, my fellow Americans. Have a good night. Thank you.